Over the last 10 years, we've seen several changes to the refrigeration for HVAC systems in automotive vehicles today. So we thought we'd go over a few of those for you so you'd understand the difference between the older systems, which are going to have R134A, and then the newer systems that are going to incorporate the R1234YF. Now, the main reason that we have seen the change moving over to the R1234YF versus the 134A is basically the same reason we saw the change from R12 to 134A about 25 years ago. And that's because of the ozone layer and for global warming potential. Essentially what has happened is the EPA has come out with regulations to phase out 134A by the end of 2021. Now, that doesn't mean that your vehicle can't be serviced after 2021. It just means that new vehicles coming off the line will no longer come with 134A. They'll now be equipped with R1234YF for their HVAC systems and the refrigerant that works for the HVAC system. The new equivalent, the R1234YF, was tested and approved back in 2011 as the replacement for R134A and was actually adopted in the first production run of the Cadillac XTS back in 2013. So we already have many vehicles on the road today that are already using the new refrigerant as far back as 2013. So your vehicle may actually have this refrigerant as well. And a good way to know that is under the hood, usually there is a tag that will tell you what type of refrigerant is there. In the case that that tag might be missing or it's hard to read or not legible, you can always go to the owner's manual as well. Now, the pressure and temperature difference between the two are kind of negligible. They're about the same. However, the 1234YF is a little less efficient than the 134A, but with 134A, this can last in the atmosphere if released for about 13 years, whereas 1234YF is only in the atmosphere and can last for 11 days when it's outside of the system. So the 1234YF is definitely going to be a lot better for the atmosphere and better for GWP or global warming potential. And also, it's non-ozone depleting. Now, some important things to know about the differences in the systems when you are having them serviced. Whether you're going to take it somewhere or you're going to do it yourself, you want to make sure you have the proper equipment to do it. And they are going to have different types of equipment that are going to be needed. Now, they look the same as far as how they hook up to the vehicle, as far as the ports that are going to be on your lines on the vehicle. The difference is with 134A and 1234YF, the actual connections are going to be a little bit different in size. So you won't be able to adapt the hosing system for a 134A to your vehicle if it has 1234YF or vice versa. You're going to have the correct hoses. The thing to keep in mind and the thing to be very cautious of is to make sure that, again, if you're servicing it yourself or having it done somewhere else, make sure that the place that's doing the work, or if you're doing the work, you have the correct machine, you have the correct hoses, and you have the correct PAG oils for either system. And so aside from a little bit higher pressure and a little bit lower efficiency on the 1234YF, they really are similar systems, with the biggest difference being that if it gets into the atmosphere, the 134A is going to last 13 years floating around, whereas the 1234YF in less than 2 weeks, 11 days, this is out of our atmosphere and much more environmentally friendly. And so to wrap up with a few key takeaways, we have already started seeing the adoption of 1234YF since as early as 2013. And generally speaking, if you have a vehicle that's 2017, 2018 or older, most likely you're going to have this in your system anyway. And again, it's because it's more environmentally friendly. But we also want to make sure that if we go somewhere and have it serviced or we do it ourselves, we make sure we have the right equipment, the correct hoses, and we also know how much we need to charge our system. Because again, the cost of the 1234YF is definitely going to be higher, so we don't want to put in too much, and we definitely don't want to waste any and get it out there in the atmosphere floating around. Luckily with the 1234YF, it will only last 11 days, but we still want to try to keep it in the system as best we can. And that's the difference between 134A and 1234YF. And hopefully now you have a better understanding of why the change was made and what to look for if you're going to service the HVAC system on your car.